Okay, if you are an AR creator or just curious about text to image AI in general, then you're in the right place. Hello, I am Alexis Mercedes. I am the project manager for Fractal Labs. We are an app development team passionate about improving the user experience of Web3. I especially post a lot of content about over the reality, but this video is a little bit different. As several of my Twitter friends had pointed out, being able to type out an idea and turn it into an image is actually here already. And a lot of them have been playing with this technology for a little while, and I recently took the time to get my head around it. You might be somebody who's already dabbled, but you want to know more about what's out there, or you just want to see me be foolish. This is going to be a fun video, so stay tuned. All right, so I knew I wanted to do a video about AI ever since I got on the waiting list to use DALL.E 2. DALL.E allows you to give a prompt to create text, to create longer stories. I said, write a children's story for a girl who loves mushrooms, a bedtime story, and it generates what it thinks is the most likely story. Think of it like predictive text on your cell phone, where it's gonna guess what it thinks the next thing should be. It's just that, but on steroids. Now, DALL.E 2 is where visual artists can get excited because you can use those same types of prompts to create an image. To learn more about how it works, I mostly went to the school of YouTube, and I did watch a bunch of videos explaining lots of different ins and outs. I spent a ton of time doing that, so I will list my favorites down below and kind of break them up in terms of what you can learn from them in the description box below. This video is mostly going to document my journey. Quickly, I learned that DALL.E is not the only one on the market, so I first conceived of this video being an inventory of all the text-to-image AI I could find. However, there's a lot of great videos on that already. Only one came through my search talking about an app. So I decided to explore that rabbit hole. I mean, most of these videos were about web apps, websites you could go to and enter the information and get results. And not only that, the quality was pretty low on most of them. They weren't finding things that made them go, wow, I want to use this again. This is cool. So to do something that actually adds to the body of YouTube knowledge, my task was to evaluate every single text-to-image app available in the iOS App Store. So that's what I did. I found 29 apps total, and then tried every single one of them and found
20
that actually worked.
Some apps are scamming, lying, pretending, but here are the ones that actually work.
This is all of them that you can actually put in a prompt like fuzzy banana and get a real result. In order to do this, I did have to sign up for 3-day trials on a whole bunch. Then I spent hours playing around with each and every one to see which ones actually worked well. So the first list really just tells you which apps are currently available that do the thing, not evaluating for the quality or user experience at all. This list is still pretty long, and I knew it wouldn't be useful to me or to you, so I did some more work and evaluated all of these. Reasons why an app might not have made the second cut include just terrible UX. Terrible UX could include annoying banners, ads that are just way too long, buttons in places that don't make sense, ugly font. It would have to be very ugly. And usually the issue is a combination of these things. If I don't like the way that it functions, but I really like the results that it's putting out, then it got kept. Also, some of them had a lot of pre-prescribed styles. This seems unique in terms of app usage. When using this type of AI on the web, you kind of have to come up with your own styles, like naming the artist that it's inspired by, telling it about the lighting you want or the level of contrast, and a list of adjectives that describe types of art in general. With the mobile apps, it was a very common theme for them to offer a huge selection of those. And for some, you were forced to use one of those selections. If you're someone who doesn't have a strong art vocabulary, this might actually be a good way to learn that, because you can see so many demos of different types like steampunk or Afrofuturism or Ghibli. I found that part to be really delightful. After playing with every single one, I got a robust idea on what can go well in this type of app and what can go not well. By having that information, I was able to apply that to each and every one and truly decide, is this nice to use? Is this working well? And from that, I got this list of 11 different apps. 11 is a lot, and it would be too daunting for me to go into detail for each and every one, saying why I like it and where the improvements still can be made. Just know that any of these will work well, and so there's that. You can now enter the App Store and know which ones work well, and they all will be free to use for at least 3 days. Give that a go. And my recommendation truly is to have a couple on hand. I think it's worth a couple bucks a month to be able to use these. You could also play the game where you have them have 3 days of one and then 3 days of another and then 3 days of another. You can finagle it however you want to. Truly, any of these will do things that are fun and interesting. And if you are really interested in being able to generate watercolors, you know, this one's gonna work better with that one. Or if you really like landscapes, this one will be better than that one. So I can't possibly tell you which one's gonna work best for you, but hopefully this is a great starting place to figure out which ones you like. Any of these will work well. I also want to give you a little gallery of some of the more entertaining outputs from my hours of toying. For example, here are the Hello Kitty high heels. I found that it was just a really good test because Hello Kitty is a brand and it's not a cat, like it's not a kitty. So its ability to process a brand name was really important and curious to me. Also, something really hilarious happened. There was one that had the strictest, like, naughty words code. It really didn't want to make Fuzzy Banana. But when I asked it to make Hello Kitty high heels, I was surprised. It was so funny. I was surprised to find that it found that to be sensitive content. It warned me that the image might be dangerous. So it just refused to make it. And I didn't know if it was because of the brand, like it was protecting brand rights, or if it was concerned about high heels. So I changed high heels to shoes and it gave me these. So no, it can do it, it just doesn't want to because it thinks that high heels are naughty. And that would seem even crazier to me than it does if it wasn't for the fact that this other AI did not generate high heels for me, but instead put a Hello Kitty face onto a stripper pole and then like implied a stripper. So like no shoes in sight, just a Hello Kitty strip club, which is not something I would have ever thought of on my own. Another go-to test was Fuzzy Banana. Obviously that was gonna be hilarious. This one is the funniest. I also wanted my take on a futuristic city. Instead of saying futuristic city, I described what I would like to see in the future. So I wrote cityscape made of tiny gardens. Some are really precious. I asked my mom to pick a prompt and she chose friendly witch, which was really challenging across the board. And before I sign off, I want to remind you that DALL.E is now available for everyone. So if you want to have a more complex, immersive, powerful experience and are wanting to sit at your computer and do it, that's going to be the obvious choice. But if you want it on a phone where things are pre-prescribed and you can do it while you're waiting for your dental checkup and want to do it casual, that's what these apps are best for.
I'm still wondering how all of this is going to affect augmented reality. Surely it'll make creating 3D models much easier, but there will be applications that right now we can't even dream of, and I'm looking forward to stay on top of the ball.
All right, that's it for today. If you stayed to the end, thanks so much. Maybe comment below so I know you did that and I can say hello to you. Watching to the end, even if you just let it play on mute in the background, really helps me out because that's how YouTube knows that I'm making decent content. Have a good one.